One of the strangest discoveries ever found in the ancient world came from a cave in South Africa. Not gold. Not weapons. Tiny engraved stones. At first, they looked insignificant. But researchers noticed something disturbing. The markings carved into them appeared intentional, geometric, repeated, measured. The stones were eventually dated to nearly 75,000 years ago, far older than historians believed humans were capable of symbolic design. And suddenly, a dangerous possibility emerged. What if advanced thinking began tens of thousands of years earlier than modern history claims? That question became even harder to ignore in Turkey. In the 1990s, archaeologists uncovered massive stone pillars buried beneath a remote hill called Göbekli Tepe. Each pillar weighed several tons. Some were carved with detailed animal symbols. Others aligned with specific astronomical positions. The site was over 11,000 years old, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. And, according to conventional history, humans at that time were supposed to be simple hunter-gatherers. But hunter-gatherers were not expected to organize massive labor forces. They were not expected to move multi-ton stone blocks across rough terrain. And they certainly were not expected to create ceremonial complexes with precise layouts. Some archaeologists quietly admitted something uncomfortable. Civilization may not have started where historians thought it did. It may have started far earlier, then collapsed. And there was another problem. Large sections of Göbekli Tepe appeared to have been intentionally buried by the people who built it. Not destroyed. Buried carefully. Almost as if someone wanted to hide it. That detail changed everything. Because now the mystery was no longer about who built these places. It became about why entire civilizations may have vanished from human memory completely. And deep in the Peruvian mountains, high in the Andes, near the ancient fortress of Sacsayhuaman, massive stone walls still stand after centuries of earthquakes. That alone is unusual. But the real mystery begins when you get closer. Some of the stones weigh more than 100 tons. Yet they fit together so tightly that even a knife blade cannot slide between them. No mortar, no cement. Just precision. Modern engineers studying the site admitted something uncomfortable. Recreating that level of stone fitting today would still be extremely difficult, especially on a mountain ridge over 12,000 feet above sea level. The Inca are officially credited with building the structure, but many historians noticed a contradiction. Some sections appear far older than the Inca civilization itself. Different stone styles, different erosion patterns. Almost as if multiple civilizations built on top of each other across thousands of years. Then researchers discovered something even stranger. Several stones contained smooth internal angles and curved cuts that should have required advanced shaping techniques. Ancient workers using primitive hammerstones should not have been capable of producing surfaces that precise on granite. At least not easily. And yet the evidence was sitting there in plain sight. For years, skeptics dismissed the mystery as exaggeration. Until a team scanned parts of the structure using modern mapping technology. The results created new problems. Some lower foundation stones appeared partially fused into the bedrock beneath them. Not stacked. Integrated. As if the builders had shaped the mountain itself before placing the walls. Even more unsettling, nearby legends from local Quechua communities described older builders who existed before the Inca arrived. Not gods. Not mythical beings. Simply the first people. A civilization lost long before written records. Then came the mini twist nobody expected. Hidden beneath parts of the fortress, archaeologists found narrow underground passages extending deeper into the mountain. Most remain sealed today. Officials claimed the tunnels were unstable, but several early explorers described airflow coming from deep inside them, which meant one disturbing possibility still remained. The tunnels might not end beneath the fortress at all. In 1936, a pilot flying over the Egyptian desert noticed something strange beneath the sand. Perfect circles. Dark. Massive. But from the air, the shapes looked deliberate. Years later, archaeologists realized they were ancient mining sites, and they led to one of the strangest materials ever discovered in the ancient world. Iron beads buried inside Egyptian tombs. Tiny objects, thousands of years old. But there was a problem. Ancient Egypt had not officially entered the Iron Age yet. According to accepted history, Egyptians should not have known how to work iron at that time. Yet laboratory tests revealed something even stranger. The metal contained unusually high levels of nickel. That meant it did not come from Earth. It came from meteorites. Ancient craftsmen had collected metal fallen from the sky and shaped it by hand long before iron smelting became common. For some historians, it was proof of early experimentation. For others, it raised a dangerous question. How many ancient technologies were discovered, then lost completely? That question became harder to ignore after researchers examined another ancient object found near Baghdad in the 1930s. A small clay jar. Copper cylinder inside. Iron rod at the center. At first, it looked ordinary. Then one scientist recreated it using acidic liquid. The device produced a small electrical charge. The so-called Baghdad battery quickly became controversial. Many experts rejected the idea immediately. But others quietly admitted the design was difficult to explain away. Because even if it was not a battery, nobody fully understood what it actually was. Then came the mini twist. Several nearly identical jars were later found in different locations across the region. Not one object. A pattern. And buried near some of those sites, archaeologists discovered traces of electroplated metal surfaces, once believed impossible for that era. Suddenly, the timeline no longer looked stable. It looked fragmented. As if pieces of scientific knowledge had appeared briefly, then vanished without explanation. But the most disturbing discovery was still waiting underwater. Far beyond Egypt. Far beyond Greece. In a place no ancient civilization was supposed to reach at all. In 1986, divers exploring near the coast of Japan reported something strange beneath the water near Yonaguni Island. At first, officials assumed it was natural rock formation. Then the photographs appeared. Massive stone terraces. Sharp angles. Flat stair-like surfaces descending into the ocean floor. Some sections looked carved. Others appeared almost architectural. And suddenly, marine geologists were arguing over something nobody expected. Was this an ancient city underwater? Or just a geological illusion? The deeper researchers explored, the stranger the sight became. Large stone platforms stretched across the seabed. Narrow channels separated sections like pathways. One diver even described what looked like carved symbols along part of the rock surface. Critics pushed back immediately. Natural sandstone fractures, they claimed. Nothing more. But supporters pointed to one unsettling detail. Some edges appeared too symmetrical. Too intentional. Especially after scans revealed repeating right angles in multiple locations. Then came the bigger problem. If parts of Yonaguni were truly man-made, they would have been constructed before sea levels rose at the end of the last ice age. More than 10,000 years ago. That timeline terrified historians. Because it suggested coastal civilizations may have existed long before modern historical records began. And if rising oceans erased them, there might be almost nothing left. The debate became even more heated after researchers compared Yonaguni to other submerged ruins discovered near India and the Mediterranean. Different cultures. Different oceans. But strangely similar patterns. Stone structures underwater. Ancient coastlines now drowned. Fragments of civilizations swallowed by rising seas. Then came the mini twist that changed the entire discussion. During one underwater survey, divers found tool-like markings on a section of submerged stone previously believed to be natural. Not proof, but enough to create serious doubt. And once doubt entered the conversation, everything became unstable. Because suddenly, historians faced another disturbing possibility. Human history may not be a straight line of progress at all. It may be the remains of multiple forgotten civilizations rising, collapsing, and disappearing beneath the earth and sea over thousands of years. And hidden inside one final discovery. Some researchers believe there may be evidence that ancient people understood the skies far better than anyone imagined. In the ruins of ancient observatories across Mexico, Egypt, and Central America, researchers kept noticing the same pattern. Precision. Not rough estimation. Not primitive sky watching. Precision. Some structures aligned perfectly with solstices. Others tracked lunar cycles with astonishing accuracy. And a few appeared synchronized with celestial events separated by decades. That should not have been possible without generations of recorded observation. But many of these civilizations were supposedly isolated from one another. No shared language. Humans in the distant past may have been far more intelligent, organized, and capable than modern civilization once believed. And somewhere beneath deserts, forests, mountains, and oceans, there may still be discoveries waiting that could force history to rewrite itself again. Because some of humanity's greatest achievements may not belong to the future at all. They may belong to a forgotten past. And if you want to explore more real mysteries hidden beneath history, science, and the natural world, stay curious and subscribe for the next investigation.